Hey y'all, welcome to Dig It Homesteading. If you're new here, my name is Jamie, and today we are going to be working on 4 different ways to preserve eggs. And I haven't done any of them, so we're going to test them all out, see what the family likes, see if they last, how they last, that kind of stuff. And when you preserve eggs, sometimes the texture can be a little different. I already have issues with different textures of eggs myself, but the rest of my family loves eggs anyway. Any way we've ever done them, they love them. So hopefully we'll find good ways that all of us can enjoy these eggs in preservation. So we live here in Southeast Texas, and our hens do not stop laying as much as people that are more north of us or in a colder climate. And we have new layers, and they're starting to lay alongside with our regular hens, so we're starting to get an abundance of eggs. So this is perfect time for me to test this out, because we have quite a bit of eggs coming in, and I'm excited to share this with you. So yeah, our drawer, which we do keep our eggs in the fridge, because I have a teenager gathering them and I don't want them sitting out on the counter, because we never know what they're going to be in the right order, you know what I mean? So just for sanity's sake, we keep them in the fridge in this, and we have no more room. So you can see we have a lovely egg basket. We got green ones and olive ones and brown ones and dark brown ones and white ones and light green ones. They're lovely. So I want to preserve these. We're going to try freezing. I guess we'll scramble them. But this is just a silicone mold that I found on Amazon ages ago. And I thought that should be perfect to do this in. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this one-handed. These are the hardest daggone eggs. And we're just going to put one each. Oh, they're fitting perfect. Ooh, that one looks a little funky. We aren't using that one. I should have floated them. I never know with her, y'all. Got a bit of shell, and I'm gonna mop that out in a minute. I don't want any runny looking eggs in here. So I'm really hoping the family likes this, because I'd like to have some. We got some teeny ones. Our babies have been laying, so these are a lot smaller. But I'd like to. Jeez. Look at that, sister. I think your chickens ate armor. I can't open it. Oh, there we go. I think they're getting their calcium. Alright, I'm going to clean this one out, and we just won't use that spot. Alright, I'm going to just try to scramble these up a bit in here. And I'm sure you could go through and just count the sections and scramble them all together and then pour them in if you wanted a better scramble on them. And I bet these can freeze whole too, so let's leave one of those. We'll leave the next one and see what it does. Not that you're going to be able to fry the egg, but let's see if it looks any different or makes a difference to the texture when it's cooked. So we'll have to cook that one separately. Maybe we'll leave 2, so we have enough for the 4 people in the house to at least have a bite. A decent bite to know if they like it. You see, they're like half the volume compared to those other ones. those baby eggs will catch up. They'll get bigger and bigger and bigger as those chickens grow, which I think is just too cool. So we got our 2 whole eggs that we'll test out, and I'm going to pop these in my stand-up freezer and let them solidify, and then once that's done, I'll catch y'all up. Alright, so here's the next day, and we got all our eggs. This one and this one are our whole egg, and I think they look pretty neat. I don't know if this works yet. I haven't tried any, but I'm going to get them bagged up, and I'm going to put them in my freezer. Probably the next couple of days I will cook them up, and I'll bring you along, and we will see how it works. Alright, let's see if these are easy or difficult to get out. Ooh, nice. So I'm sure you remember each of these are all 1 egg because, you know, that was just a minute ago for you. Look at that. That's so cool. So I will put those in there close together. I'm not cooking. She thinks I'm cooking, but I'm not. Hopefully she believes me. Alright, so I'm going to just finish bagging these up. And there's our little one. And I'll be right back. Alright, so there's our little quart-sized bag with, I don't know how many we had, 3, 6, 9, 12, minus 2, so 10 eggs. And I could fit more in there. So quart-sized bag, and you can have almost a dozen eggs in the freezer. That's rather convenient, so I really hope this test works for this way. Let's move on to the next. Alright, so we're doing the pickled eggs next, and I went ahead and got those boiled earlier today, and I'm working on peeling them now. And these are fresh eggs, and you will see fresh eggs can be difficult to do hard boiled and then peel. The best way I have found is to boil them to whatever hardness that you're trying to boil them to, and then get a big bowl like this, fill it with ice, add water, and then throw them in there as soon as you're done cooking them, and that makes it easier. This one's a little soft right here, so it is giving me more trouble, and I'm doing it with my left hand for some reason, which I think I did half of them with my left hand. So these are going to be ugly and gnarly. And one of them has the yolk poking out, so I don't know how well that's going to pickle or if that's just going to be extra strong. And fun fact, only one of us here have ever even tried pickled eggs. So I am going to try a recipe that might closest resemble what he's actually had before. So I have picked a English recipe to follow in hopes that it will taste nice, especially for him. That way if everybody else hates it, he can have them. This recipe, I will link it below. It called for 6 eggs, but I'm using a wide mouth jar, so I'm going to get a few more extra in there, and I'm going to just finish this. This is one of our teeny tiny eggs. I figured that would be good towards the end to help fill up the container. And I'll get this done and be right back and show you how to get all that done. Okay, so this recipe looks ridiculously simple, and I have got a lot of things measured out, because if you use a UK scale, a UK recipe, you will need scales to weigh things out. And the ingredients are white vinegar, castor sugar, also known as just sugar here in America, 2 bay leaves, 1 teaspoon black peppercorns, coriander seeds, and 6 large eggs. Now it does also recommend different things you can add, like turmeric seed, mustard, curry powder, anything like that. We're just going to follow the recipe and see what that's like before we experiment with anything else. So we're going to put the vinegar, which is 400 ml, and I will link this below in case you want to reference it. 400 ml of white vinegar and 1 gram of white sugar into our pot, and then we need to add 1 1/2 tablespoon of salt, and then 150 ml of water, and that is about 1/2 tablespoon. And let me get our water, and we'll add that and get this party started. Alright, got 160 ml of water instead of 150. My first guess was like 125. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't often use those measurements, so I'm quite impressed with my guesses. I'm just looking about. It doesn't say to add the included spices, but it just says to reference the spice thing. So we're going to go ahead and add our spices in now, which is 2 bay leaves. Some of these are from our bay tree. That one was like 5 bay leaves, but we'll just go with it. And 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns. We'll say that looks good. And 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds. And you see just how accurate I'm being with all of this. So if your way of doing it is to be super accurate, go for it. So I'm going to just bring this to a boil and stir it a little bit and get the sugar to dissolve. Alright, so sugar looks well dissolved. Alright, so it's cooled off enough. I'm just going to pour it in. And cover the eggs completely. You see we do have some brine left. I might do something with that. I might not. Don't know. What do you do with your extra brine? So, you're supposed to have them in a sterilized jar. You seal them up. You see I'm using a used lid. So I'm going to put this in a dark, cool area for at least 2 weeks, up to 3 months. But we'll probably try them in 2 weeks. So fingers crossed, wish us luck that they taste delicious. And then once you open them, you want to put them in the fridge. Okay, so I'm really interested in seeing how both of these eggs preservation methods work out, and I have a couple more ideas. If you preserve eggs in any way, please let me know down in the comments, because I would really like to know. So this one is going to be water glassing eggs. I've never done it before, and I do not believe the USDA recommends that it's done, but I know in lots of different cultures all over the world it is done to preserve their eggs. So I'm going to risk and see how it works out for us. I've done a little bit of a research as to why it works and how it works, and I encourage you to do that for yourself. That way you can find out if you are comfortable doing this in your own home before trying it out. And anyway, I'll show you what we need to get this done. Okay, so to get started, you'll need a whisk, some sort of scale, and you can use the size jar of your choice. So it is pickling lime. It's also known as hydrated lime. It's also known as food grade calcium hydroxide. And then of course you will need your eggs. And look at that lovely basket. We've got some dark brown, some light brown, some white. These are kind of a khaki looking, maybe olive egg looking, and then some green, and then some that are almost blue. So our ladies are absolutely giving us the prettiest egg basket we've had ever. And the only thing you don't see in here that you will need is some sort of filtered water for your jar. Filtered or non-chlorinated, I believe, is the problem if you have chlorinated water, or you can use distilled water. I have well water, so I'm going to use that. And I might, the fridge, you could use it out of your fridge, but you might want to let it get to room temperature before you use it, because mine comes out pretty cold. So room temperature, filtered out of your fridge would work. Any other way that you can filter your own water would be fine. And like I said, I'm going to use my well water, and we'll see how that works, because I can't imagine when pickling your when water glassing your eggs became a thing that they were able to use filtered or distilled water. So we're going to try it where I think it came from. We're going to try it with the water that was more accessible. Okay, so we are going to start with our eggs, and we're going to look at each one. See, this has probably some poo and even some fluff on it, and there's a little bit of something that just looks a little dirty. So we're going to select ones out like this, and we are not going to use these because you want to leave the bloom intact, so absolutely no water on them, no floating them or anything like that. They have to be perfect, straight from the yard, not from the refrigerator. Like this one looks pretty good. If you can just do like that with your nail, maybe get a little bit off, that should be fine. But you want to leave the bloom, which is the coating that the chickens give it as they lay it. You want that to be intact, because the lime is going to form a seal with that bloom and not let anything in or out of your egg while it is being water glassed. So this one looks good. So I'm going to just go through these, and I'm also going to be looking, see, there's a little bit of a funky thing there, but I'm also going to be looking for any cracks. Any sort of cracks, like that's just a tiny bit of fuzz, that looks okay. Little tiny bits of something would be okay. You want them as clean as possible and absolutely no cracks. So if you see anything that's like a crack, rub your finger over it, make sure it isn't. And even that I'd be worried about. That's extra bloom from this chicken. So I'm going to just try to find the absolute most perfect eggs like this. This one looks absolutely lovely. So I'm going to go through and sort my eggs, and then I'll get back with you. Look at that size comparison. This is a new layer, this is a not so new layer. Alright, that's how many we ended up with, and we haven't pulled any eggs out for today yet. So I have chosen a half-gallon jar to do this in. That way, if we don't like it or something goes wrong, we're not, ooh, almost knocked you over, we're not wasting a whole lot of food. And if I feel like I need more eggs in this jar, then we'll go check out the eggs we have outside. This did take a couple of days for Sister to gather, because we don't have a whole ton of chickens, but I would recommend just gathering up your eggs for maybe 2 or 3 days and putting them in a container to make you a batch, and then after that start a new container. You don't want to be putting eggs that were picked a week ago into this same jar, because then their dates are going to be a little off and you're not going to be too accurate. So I want to know exactly the few days that it took to get these eggs, how long it's been from that time frame. I don't want to make any problems that could arise from having them pulled too far apart. Okay, so half-gallon jar, we're going to fill it up halfway with water, which will be 1 quart. So for every quart of water, you're going to have 1 ounce of lime. So it doesn't matter what size jar you have, 1 quart to 1 ounce of pickling lime is your ratio. So you can multiply that or divide that however you need to for the size container that you have. Okay, I've got my 1 ounce weighed out, and I just want to make sure you think about any sort of fine powders, but things like this, you don't want to have your face closed so the particles go into your lungs. That wouldn't be too great. And also, this jar has been washed and sanitized. You want to give yourself the best opportunity for everything to go right. And you can measure this out by teaspoon or tablespoon, but I find that measuring things out like this that are super fine with a scale is going to be much more accurate for you. Okay, so we're going to carefully put this in. And I'm going to try to get it all in there. Okay, now we're going to whisk all of that up. You could probably put your lid on and shake it, however you want to do. But you want to get all of this incorporated super good. And I'm even going to try to slosh it this way and get the stuff off the sides. It goes very milky looking. Okay. Now we are going to try to very carefully start putting our eggs in. And this first layer, we're not going to be able to. But once you get the first layer in, you want to get the pointy side facing down for the rest of your layer so it lets the air bubble go up to the top. So I'm just going to carefully set them in. And you will notice that a lot of this lime is starting to settle to the bottom. That's absolutely fine, absolutely normal. Okay, and I'm going by feel. Once I feel that the bottom ones are done, then I'm going to start putting them in. Pointy side down like that. And you don't want any of your eggs to float. If they float at all, take them out, because even though they might not be bad yet, if they're just kind of floating, they're going to lift up the other eggs that are above them, and you don't want that. You want everything to stay in this solution. Ooh, I'm overflowing it a bit. So just try to carefully do this as good as you can. You don't want to lose any of your solution, but as you get closer and closer to the top, you do need to be careful. And just turn it around so we can see this side. And I can't even see where they need to go. So just go by feel and try to keep them all facing the right way. Okay, so just to know, I have seen some recipes say to put the lime in first and then fill the jar halfway, and some say put the water and then add the lime, which is what I did. And I kind of wondered if this would happen, but as I got to the very top, which I went and got another egg to fit right here, but the liquid started overfilling. There's water displacement that's going to happen as you do, but you can see it's all starting to settle. I wish that one would have stayed pointy side down, but for the most part they stayed pointy side down. And you could also let your stuff settle and then put your eggs in, which I think I'll do next time so I can see better. But aren't they pretty? So this is filled all the way up to the top. There's a little bit of a headspace, but you're not actually looking for a headspace. You're looking to see that all the eggs are completely covered by the liquid. And then you want to put a clean, airtight lid on there. And I'm going to really tighten it. That way no air can get in or out. And then I'm going to label this, and I'm going to store it in a cool, dark location. And from everything I've been reading, they're good up to a year. And some people have had luck with them going further after that. But I don't think I will, for one, need to store these past a year or be able to, because even in my house it gets rather warm around here during the summer, so I think that would shorten the life of them. So if you live up north, I think that might be a little easier for you to maintain the cool, dark conditions. But down here in the south, that's just probably not going to be something that we're able to do for as long. Oh, and real quick, I want to mention that you can go in these at any time and just go get you one or two out, but make sure you rinse them and get the lime off of them before you use them. It is food safe, but I think it could change the flavor. You might be able to taste it if you're more sensitive to those kind of things. Alright, okay y'all, so for this next and most likely final way to preserve eggs, you'll need your eggs. I've chose this, that way I can just crack them in here and then pour it, a whisk. And then you would need something to hold the runny eggs. I have an abundance of these different shaped molds that are silicone. And my dehydrator is technically not a dehydrator. It is a COSORI all-in-one, which I'll show you that in a few minutes. And so I have not found the little silicone mats that you can make fruit leather with for my machine. So I have opted to use this. Plus I kind of like to use what I have instead of having to buy a whole ton of stuff. If I can find these, I believe I got a set on Amazon. I will link those below. Okay, so I have got myself another little dish, because if you raise chickens for eggs, then you know you should crack them into a separate container. Because what can happen, even if I just went and got all these from outside, something could be wrong. It could have been forgotten, and it could be going bad and you not know it. So you can float your eggs to see if they're good. And if they stay down at the bottom of the water, say your water's this high, if they're this down like that, they are absolutely really good. Then you might see them start to stand on their end, they're still really good. Then it might go halfway, they're still okay to use. But once it reaches that top at all, any sort of way, we don't use them. They are officially bad. So that's one way to tell. But if you don't want to go through and float all your eggs, you put them in here. You crack each individual egg to put it in your container. So every time I crack, it's going in here. Then you can visually see it, you can smell it. You will know if you have a bad egg. You're going to know. It's going to smell funny, it's going to look liquidy, it's not going to look like your white with your yolk how it's supposed to be. So if I open one of these eggs and it's bad and I put it in all these eggs, then now I have wasted all the eggs that are in here. They're no longer usable, and that's a lot of wasted food. So always, always, always crack into another container. Alright, we got all our eggs in here. We're just going to get them all whisked up. The reason I picked 12 is because that silicone mold that I have has 12 little sections. And I can tell visually that these eggs could fit in each of those containers, probably double, but I want it to be quite a thin layer in there so it can dehydrate quickly. I'd rather run multiple batches of thin egg liquid than try to get it to dehydrate through thick eggs, because I think that will cause it to be kind of soft on the inside. If you have, like, say, more than a 1/4 inch, you know, how long is it going to take to dehydrate inside that 1/4 inch of egg? Here's my COSORI all-in-one, which does also do dehydrating. I can link this below. I'll tell you what all it does. Toast, bagel, setting, pizza, bake, roast, air fry, broil, cookies, rotisserie, dehydrate, ferment, and warm. So it does all of that. But it only has these 2 baskets. And you see I have this silicone sitting on my tray already. And we are going to just balance that in there, and we're going to pour directly into here. That way I'm not trying to put this floppy thing full of liquidy eggs into this basket and not spill it, because I will absolutely spill it everywhere. So I'm going to try not to give you too many shadows, and I'm going to just put, and if I fill up too much for what my liking, I'm going to get a spoon and I'm going to change where they sit. So if one gets more than I want, I'm going to scoop it out and put it into the next one. No more. I'm going to try to do no more than a 1/4 inch. Oop, that one was very much more than a 1/4 inch. Any of them that are a little lower, we're going to just try to evenly distribute. And this silicone thing does not sit perfectly in this. So these, they're going to be at an angle. See, this one's going that way, so it's closer to this edge than this. But this one's still way too full. So I'm going to take a spoon and just separate these and make them a little more even so they can all dehydrate at a more evenly rate. And we will get these set 135, 145, and I'm going to just watch them. I'm going to set them for 12 hours, and I'll probably check them at 8. If they're good at 8, I'll take them out and I'll let you know, or I'll try to remember to let you know. That way I can also remember how long these eggs took to dehydrate. Alright, just going to pop them in, get them going. And this machine had just stopped going, so it does leak. No matter how much I clean inside, it does leak just a drop here. And I had some Roselle in here dehydrating for tea, and that is another video. I will link it below for you to go check out if you haven't seen that. And my machine does either 130 or 140, so I'm going to do 140 since that's between the 135 and 145, and I just set it for 12 hours. Okay, sorry it's a little dark over here. I'll bring it over, but our dehydrated eggs look good. I flipped them over last night late because some of these bottoms were a little bit gooey. But you can see they're all like falling apart and crispy. And I'm going to put these in a jar with an airtight lid, and I might try to powder them in my blender, but if you have been following along, you know my blender is giving me some problems. Even my stick blender is. So we might just have to leave them in this form to rehydrate and try them. But we shall see. Okay, so we're going to just get a jar. It's clean. And we're going to put all of this dehydrated egg into the jar for now. It kind of reminds me of peanut brittle. So it's not quite as hard as peanut brittle, but you kind of want it to be peanut brittle-esque to know that it's dry. No sticky spots whatsoever. Okay, y'all. So y'all have been in the kitchen with me pretty much all day today making some yummy treats. I think it's time to defrost some eggs and get some other things sorted so we can have our egg taste test tonight. Let's see what the winner is. Okay, so this is the eggs that we froze together. You can maybe, hopefully see, there's the white on the outside and the yolk inside. So we're gonna defrost one of each of these. That way we can see how they defrost. Let's put that one in here so we can see the other one a little bit better. So that is a whole frozen raw egg. So I'm gonna set these out. Hopefully they'll have enough time to defrost. And I've got one other thing I want us to prep. This is our dehydrated egg, and my blender's on the fritz, so I didn't want to risk blending these up any smaller at the moment. So I'm going to get probably some warm water and put some of this in it, and we'll get these rehydrating as well. And I'm not going to measure. I probably should. And those big chunks I kind of worry about. So we'll try to get some more little ones. So this is the dehydrated egg. And it's been sitting quite a while. I still don't think it's rehydrated very well. That might be due to the non-powdered starting consistency. So I'm going to add a little bit more warm water, and we'll let that soak while we're doing the other stuff. Looks like our scrambled frozen egg has defrosted rather well. There's some that looks kind of chunky still, but we'll mix it up with a fork. And then this is the one that we froze as a solid egg, and it just looks like a solid egg. Let's see if the texture, that's neat. And we ended up with a fuzzy. So the texture of the egg yolk is different. So we'll see if we can mix that together to make scrambled egg out of it too. So everybody's coming to taste the different eggs. I have them labeled. I think this is going to be my fault for the dehydrated eggs since I couldn't blend it into a powder. It already looks bleh. My son recommended you eat these with grits. Then you might not notice the extra texture. But this is the whole egg. This is the mixed egg. And then in the skillet, I have the water glass egg, which I did rinse before we cooked it. And I didn't add any seasonings to this, guys. That way we can just do an actual comparison on the texture and flavor of the egg. Okay, so we got everybody here into the microwave. Yeah. And we're going to try the water glass egg first. Y'all go ahead, it's the one in the pan. What do you think, Daddy?
Normal. It's just egg.
Not like an egg that's been sitting on a shelf?
It tastes like a regular egg.
It just tastes like egg.
For a month? They've been sitting on the shelf for a month.
The texture sound.
Okay.
It exactly the same.
Frozen whole and frozen mixed together.
I'll try
Which
the
one?
mix.
Mixed together.
I got a big one. No difference?
No difference?
Huh?
Okay, the whole.
No. I
What's
feel a
the
slight
whole?
change in the texture.
I'm not looking forward to that one.
Me either.
Wait, what's this one?
This one is a whole egg froze together. I didn't mix it together first.
What's a pole?
Because I've been cooking different eggs.
This one's notably better.
You like the whole one? What about you?
I like
But the same, it tastes creamy.
the
this
whole
one
one
Yeah.
more
Cheese
than this
creamer?
one.
Yeah.
Well, notice the yolk was like, even when it was frozen, it was like how we've seen people preserve the yolk, the egg yolk. how it like stayed solid and I cut through it.
Now hold on. Do we want to make predictions on how this one's going to be before we take it to this?
I feel like it's gonna taste the same, but it's gonna have a bad texture.
I feel like it's going to taste better
Gross.
than we think.
Let me. I'm gonna show them.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew, mine's nastier than yours.
Show them the jiggle.
Oh, the texture's horrible.
Is it crunchy too?
That's awful.
Well, I don't have a blender that would cut
Well, I
right
don't
up
want
at
to.
the moment.
It
I'm
tastes
good.
okay, but the texture's awful.
No.
This is all sorts of wrong.
No. Okay, so I'm not going to completely write off the dehydrated eggs. When I do get a blender, we'll blend it into a powder and try again.
What the frick is that?
That's funny because you were all against doing the water glassed eggs. Are you sold?
You know what?
It's all over that nasty.
I'm
That's
actually
horrible.
kind of for it.
That's because you're weird.
Wait,
Ah!
for that?
Yeah,
Ew.
it's not bad.
Well, you're welcome to have all of it. How about that? Anyway, we got one more egg to try. Does everybody want to try a whole one?
Yes. Yes.
I love the excitement. So these are pickled eggs. So Daddy is probably the only one of us who's ever even had a pickled egg.
The one I've had was dark up to the malt thing. Pub food.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Stick on
They have them on the counter in pubs.
Stick it.
Sister,
I want one.
I figure you're just going to go in barehanded, aren't you?
Yeah.
Daddy? Is it strong?
It's the most strong.
Oh, I might have broke it a bit.
Can I eat it?
Of course, you're going to come over here and show them?
It looks like an egg.
It does look like an egg. It's a
It's kind of sweet.
little bit browner.
How is it sweet?
I don't know. At this point, I don't even remember what I put in it.
I don't really like that.
That's weird.
Mine
It's-
had called for sweetener, but I can't remember. It's been a month. You have to watch the video.
I really don't like that.
I like it, but it's sweet. I don't understand why it's
Ew.
sweet.
Yeah. That's gross.
Feed it a chicken bin. Don't throw it away. Chicken bin.
Where is it?
Yeah,
There's a blue one. There was a blue one out somewhere.
It's
with
vinegar,
things.
so I'll eat it. How do you not like that, but you like the other crab?
It's not bad.
What is it about this you don't like?
It's just
It's
some sort of
sweet.
flavor about it. It's
It's
like
sweet.
sweet and also
I need to look at my recipe and see what it's called.
Yeah.
It's
Because there's tons of ways to
like
pickle.
vinegar in it.
eggs.
And the sweet. It's just
What do you say? Because of the sweetness?
Yes, I think there should be more vinegar than sweetness.
So you
There's
want it
too
to like
much-
knock your socks off with
Yeah,
vinegar?
there's too much sweetness. That's
Okay,
what
well, we
did
can
that. I was
adjust
like,
the
whoa,
recipe.
everybody. I was like,
Less
that's not what I
sweet,
wanted.
less vinegar.
You can't use less vinegar.
You
can use different kinds.
Or just put salt on it.
We'll make adjustments and we'll get the right one.
That's alright, I'd eat it. I did.
Well, good, because you have a jar of it left.
He's eating more of that nasty stuff.
No, you're not.
What's wrong with
Here, Brandon, you want some?
Give it a second opinion.
Ugh.
The dogs don't have any qualms with the pickled eggs. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, no.
I'm glad you're enjoying that.
I'm not enjoying it.
So why are you eating it?
eating it?
Because it's fine. It's not
so,
terrible.
So weird.
Well, no food goes to waste around here.
It's not as good as normal eggs.
Anyway, let me know what your favorite way is to preserve eggs. And does everybody have a clear winner on
I'd say the whole. The whole was the best
Yes.
out of the whole bunch.
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah.
The whole egg that was
Just
frozen?
I like
Yeah.
this one.
And sister likes the water glass egg. You liked it too.
That
You
one-
went back to it.
I like the only one I didn't like was that nasty looking piece over
That
there.
one tastes just like regular egg. That one had
really
a
all taste the
slight
same.
different texture.
That one looks like he's already chewed up and spat it back on the
Yes.
plate.
Yeah.
Whole
Can't
had
help that
like
though.
a,
That's
like
technical
a creamier
difficulties.
flavor and a bit better texture, I think.
The whole.
It tastes the same.
And this one, it's just a bad texture.
Okay, so pickled
But the taste
eggs
is
we
fine.
can do again with some adjustments. Dehydrated eggs we definitely have to blend down to a
Never
powder and
again.
try
I'll try it. It should blend down and be better.
Just make it with grits.
And hide it in
No.
hide it in ingredients.
No,
Hide it in
no.
grits.
But if I can blend it down, then it should reconstitute
Well, just put grits as one of the ingredients. Just,
You go right ahead,
just
honey.
do that.
So either way, it doesn't matter to you guys if it's frozen whole or frozen mixed.
No.
Okay.
Whole is better.
All these.
So we'll plan to do
taste the
whole.
exact same.
For one, they look really
Which
cool
one's
when they're
easier?
whole, because then I don't have to mix
Yeah,
it.
then just do whole.
So
It's
whole
way
and
better.
water glass and pickling of some sort at some point as our winners. All right, I like it. All right, well, thanks so much for hanging out with me and now my family during this taste test. If you have pickled egg recipes, especially from the UK, please hit me up. If you want to email me a link.
Moron, what's wrong with you?
If y'all want to email me the link, my email is on my email is on my YouTube, and it is just digithomesteading@yahoo.com. And if not, feel free to type it out in the comments or whatever. And again, thanks for spending time with us. We appreciate all that you're doing to help our channel grow. And love you. Bye for now.